Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Learning Live. Tonight's episode is subtitled, Which One of These is Not Like the Other? I have a real mishmash of goodies that I am going to be pulling all together to put together a 2-page layout. Our general theme or thought for this month, when we were talking about what we were going to do in the month of June, one question we get asked a fair bit is, how do you use dies on a layout? So Darlene and I have, talked around some ideas, and last week you saw some amazing things that she used, some Polaroid dies and some other goodies on a layout, and pulled that all together. Well, tonight I am going to do something a little bit different, but also showing you how to use dies and better press plates on a layout. Last week, Darlene did one of our 2 layout sketches. This week, I'm going to do both. So I was inspired very much by this triangle layout that Carol found for us. And while I'm not going to be using triangles, I'm going to be using circles. So it's going to show you how you can take an idea from a sketch and put it together on your layouts or your cards, or whatever project that you're working on. So that was challenge number 1, using dies. So challenge number 1 was using dies on a layout. Challenge number 2, using the layout sketch for this month. Challenge number 3, last week on What's New, I showed you a whole suite. Oops, my sketches just went flying. Sorry about that. I showed you a whole suite of products from last year surrounding the disco ball, or as I call it, the Death Star. But I'm not doing an outer space or a Star Wars themed layout. But this is the disco ball press plate. I also have the dies and the stencil and that kind of thing. So that was challenge number 3. And then Matt decided to throw a 4th challenge at me this morning.
For the record, it was not a challenge. It was just being silly.
He was being silly, and he started singing off key as usual. Disco, disco, duck. So he said, wouldn't it be funny if you had a duck to put on your layout? Well, don't have ducks, but I have birds. So we're going to play with that. And where the birds then led me to, this is my own personal challenge, is I'm going to take all this stuff and use it with Graphic 45. Disco ball and Graphic 45? What?
Oh my God.
What?
There's a lot going on there.
And as I was creating, I've pulled out a few other goodies as well. So tonight I am going to be packing in as much as I can. So grab a drink, get comfortable. Matt's saying a stiff drink. I've just got my water here. And we are going to get into this. So let me clear the space. Let me make sure I put it somewhere where I don't lose stuff. Because, I do that. And here, we'll get these out of the way. So treasured cardstock. This is one of the new colors of treasured cardstock. This beautiful aquamarine color. The papers that I'm using are actually the solids from the Seize the Day collection from Graphic 45. So I've got the purple violet, the sunshine yellow, and the turquoise blue. In some cases, I'll be using both sides. But I'm going to put those over here so those don't get lost. This is going in this box. All right, we are all set.
Shelly says she can't wait to see how it all comes together.
Well, so Shelly, neither can I. If it comes out of my head looking the way I hope it's going to look, this is going to be epic. I've been so excited about this layout that since I started getting the ideas and started playing around. I've been so excited about this layout. I mean, not that I'm not usually excited about learning live, but man, this is going to be fun. All right. So, and you know what?
Epic, huh?
It's going to be epic. And if it's not, well, we're going to learn what not to do.
If it's not epic, all of a sudden there's tech issues.
Right. Oops. Sorry. It's like the, all right. all joking aside, so I have started with a 2-page base of Color Vibe, I believe. Let me dig in the trash. Yeah, this is Color Vibe Teal. And I am going to use the polka dot side because I think, especially for a background, that gives it just a little bit more life, a little bit more interest. I've got both pages laid out here because I'm going to do a pattern like this on both sides. But as I said, instead of triangles, I am doing circles. And this is using, let me find my little piece of paper here. I am using the Everlasting Circles dies from Spellbinders. Great nesting dies. There's 16 dies in total. I used 5 on this layout. If I decide I need to cut some more circles, I may just grab punches instead. But I wanted some nice, big, juicy circles. So I've got them all pre-cut here because you don't need to see me die cutting all night. And when you look at this sketch, the thing that, let me put this one over here. The thing about this sketch is that there really is two great big central triangles here. So I started by cutting the largest circles first, and then I just kept cutting a selection of smaller circles as well, so we can fill this in. And this is where we're just going to kind of play around. So I'm going to tuck this off to the side where I can see it.
So you're doing circles instead of triangles?
I'm doing circles instead of triangles.
You've already not followed the instructions.
I am using the sketch as inspiration. Clearly someone's not listening. Did I not just say this? Anyways, so I have started with those 3 colors of the Graphic 45 pattern paper. So I've got a purple, I've got the yellow, and then I've got this teal as well. And like I said, I've got stacks and stacks of these circles, and maybe I don't use them all. That's okay. I'd rather have more than less.
Yes, you can all use them for something else later.
You could absolutely use them for something else later, or I had a black oval that I had cut for some activities we were doing on the weekend. And I don't know if I'll ever use that oval again. So I started die cutting little pieces out of it. Don't throw the big ones away because you can always make them smaller. Now, according to my plan, I'm going to put 2 circles on this side, and I'm only going to put 1 circle on this side because I do also want to do this kind of treatment on this right hand page. So I may not do the circles all the way up. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So I've got my big yellow circle. I've got a teal circle here. The nice thing about circles is that you can have any direction that you want. You don't have to plan that out from when you are cutting. This one, though, I do want the bubbles kind of to be going upwards. And then we've got our purple waves over here. So I'm going to just put them here. Right now, I'm just kind of placing things. I'm not going to stick anything down. Nothing is set in stone. I did also cut some glitter circles, and I'm going to come back to these guys in a second. You can't see what I'm talking about, but so I've got some glitter, and I even had some little 6x6 paper pads that I've cut some little baby circles out of. So we're just going to start playing. And again, I'm using this as inspiration. I'm not necessarily going to try and match it 1 for 1. The circles can overlap. Let's do, these ones aren't there. And so I'm just trying to find some nice configurations of these circles that fill the space, contrasting colors, making sure you don't have too many things overlapping that aren't supposed to be overlapping. Okay, so I'm going to need, maybe I'm going to do this because I need those 2 to connect, but I didn't want another purple right in the center. So, all right. And the nice thing is that these are double-sided, so I can, if I don't want the pattern side, I can flip it over and we can tuck. Just have some things peeping out. There's a green one. Now I'm going to show you this, and this is just for planning purposes. I will get into more detail on it in a little bit, but this is one of the Bella Boulevard cutouts that I am going to be using for my title. So I need to make sure I leave room for it.
It can go on top of something, can't it?
It can, but I don't want it to go on top of everything.
No.
So maybe I will scooch all of this a little bit more to the left. We've got this here. And so that's why I'm being very cautious about this purple, because I don't want purple going on top of purple. All right.
Ease overhanging just a bit.
Yeah, I'll fix it when I actually go to glue it down. Or do I want it? Maybe I want it on this side. Maybe that's a better option. And then this big guy. So some of this is now just playing around. And now that I've got this over here, then maybe I can put a connecting purple in here. Okay. Filling things in. Tucking. I need some more over here. Don't need a purple on a purple here. How about some yellow?
Don't overthink it. Just go with
No,
what feels
I
right.
know. Totally. All right. You know what? Oh, that's better. I like that better.
Oh, that's totally different.
Yep. And then we'll connect it. You guys know my mantra, whatever you do to the left, you're going to do to the right. So if I've got a polka dot over here, I want a polka dot over here. That means I need some of these guys. But you know what? I think from a general layout standpoint, I might even take this one out for right now. I'm liking how this is coming together.
I think you need something green on the left.
I will put some green in here. I want to just make sure I get my photo in first. The smaller ones are easy to tuck afterwards. I really just want to get the big ones kind of into place. And you know what? It's nice as long as you've got kind of your general idea, then you can definitely add more afterwards. All right. So get this guy out of the way. Happy with this. So going in and I'm committing. And all I'm going to do is one by one, I'm going to pick up a circle. I'm going to put some tape on it and glue it back down. Because things are tucking and everything else, I'm not even going to go edge to edge. This is going in an album. It's a layout, so the page protector is going to also help protect it. So this way I can do that and then come back, do this one, not going edge to edge so that I can tuck. And there we go. And see, as Matt said, don't overthink it. And when you use tape runner instead, oh, that one I did edge to edge, sorry. What was I saying? Don't overthink it. With tape runner, you can still lift it up if you want to move it. Just don't press it down too hard. And let's do this one first. Any questions so far, Matt?
No.
Everybody just intrigued watching the process?
I guess so.
If I don't stick that down now, I'll probably forget. Sometimes that happens. All right, so I know I've got some space here, but we're going to see where the photo's going to go. Let me get this big guy down. Yep, trying to make sure my waves are going horizontal. Tuck. It's very easy to go back in afterwards. I think that one was like that, wasn't it? And add more adhesive if you need to. Whether it's sticking a piece of score tape underneath or your liquid glue, this little green guy I will come back to. All right, so basics are down already. And again, we can still add, I need a photo. So I think I'm going to be inspired by this particular sketch and just do a small photo here. And then we're going to add some more small photos over on this side. But you know what? One is just never enough. So I'm going to do two. So let me just take some white cardstock as my photo mat or my faux photos. And I'm going to do some 3x4s. That was 3, so here's a 4, and here's a 4. And I think our paper is going to be so colorful. I did pull some cardstock to use for photo mats, but I think I'm just going to.
Oh, black.
Black would work, or again, I had pulled this dark teal. No, I'm gonna just stick with the photos, or I can even just leave the white down and allow, and then cut my photos smaller once I have the actual photos. All right, so this one's gonna tuck here. Got to make sure we still see this circle. This one's gonna go here, like so. No, I think I had it up a little higher last time, didn't I?
Yeah, it wasn't tucked that much. Yeah.
And there. All right. This is stuck down. So then if I look at, and again, I'm just going to bring this in so that I have placement. So where this one has 3 strands of what I'm going to call clothesline, I think I'm just going to do 2 because I like the way this is laying out. And I'm actually not going to do string, but I'm going to use this to kind of inspire where I put everything. So I'm going to just do 2 2 by 2.5 and 2 2.5 by 2.5. Get those into place, and then we get into the real fun stuff. So 2.5 was the widest. And then we wanted a 2, a 2, a 2.5, and a 2.5. And I do still have one extra. Well, I've got one little piece here, and I've got one extra of the 3x4. So if I'm inspired by this, I need a skinny one and a wider one, and a little one. Come this way.
Too much.
Okay, this is 3. I'm gonna trim it down to 2.5, so we've got the same. There we go. That's fun, if I do say so myself.
Karen likes your color combo.
Thank you, Karen. Feeling very tropical, and you'll see where I'm going as I start. Oh, you know what? That leads me to believe I'm going to not put a photo there, but I'm going to do that. So, nice hodgepodge of photos here. And I'm just tacking it down. I love the rows of polka dots because I can get my stuff straight. So maybe let's bring this one a little bit closer. Oops. Little stickies on this one still. Let's go. And I'm deliberately leaving a gap here, so don't worry. There's a method to the madness. Right there. And all right. Okay, so where are we going to go to next? We have, oh.
Sounds like that's got its own stickiness to it.
Well, and okay, so maybe that's where I need to go next. I need to show you how to do the title. So these, I'm going to move these out of the way because I think that's the next big thing that we really want to get into place. So this is what is called a cutout by Bella Boulevard. And we have a bunch of different themes and lots of fun stuff. I grabbed this one out of my stash. It's got this nice big collage of the word happiness. And then I've got smile and a little arrow. Now, the way these come is they are already cut for you. Let me find here's my happiness, which I can use on another layout. So it is just cut out of white smooth cardstock. So imagine you had a Cricut or a Silhouette. You could cut these yourself. Obviously, if you don't have a tool like that, then these guys are already done for you. You don't have to do any of the work to cut it out. Also in the kit is this little template guide. So it has all the letters for happiness and smile. And what you're to use these for is to trace or cut out your pattern paper so it gets attached behind. Matt, can I just hand this to you because I'm afraid I'm going to smoosh it if I don't put it away properly. Now here's the tip that I'm going to suggest. Take your template, take your cutting guide, and photocopy it. That way, if you make a boo-boo, your master copy is still intact. And it looks like we're having, I don't know if anybody else is having glitchiness on the.
It's freezing a little bit.
So I'm just gonna.
It just didn't like that. Didn't like those things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a minute and plug in because that sometimes helps as well. Oh, the joys of technology. Okay. And of course, I move things.
Other way.
Close enough. There we go. All right, so I've already got Smile done. And let me flip it over just to show you what the back looks like.
It didn't help.
So that is what the back looks like. And I'm going to also do a little arrow. So that's going to be my demonstration piece. I knew that this would take a while. It actually didn't take as long as I thought it did, but you'll find out why it is as sticky as it is. And once it gets into place, it'll be fine. So here is my photocopy for happiness because that's where the arrow is. So I'm just going to take this and cut it out of my little template here. And I'll keep this photocopy so when I go to do happiness, it's already photocopied. And I need a piece of pattern paper.
Yeah, it's glitching everywhere.
Okay, well, I'm going to use, because I don't have a lot of it on that page, I'm going to use this graphic 45 paper. Do I have a smaller scrap? Oh, I do. Hang on. There's a smaller scrap. So using my repositionable tape runner, I'm going to take my photocopy and just put a little bit down the center and put it in place here on the pattern paper. And then using my fussy cutting scissors, simply snip on the lines. There we go. And cut out this arrow. So there we go. Now, if you wanted to, you could use your paper trimmer to try and follow the lines. Straight lines aren't too bad. And the edges are not going to be seen. So if you happen to make a slight boo-boo, no problem at all. Now, repositionable tape is nice because all you then have to do is rub along the surface and it gets removed. So I'm going to now take my arrow. This is my arrow from the kit. And I'm going to remove this piece of white. My little template has done its job. Rub off that extra adhesive. And this will fit nicely in behind the arrow. Now, doing something with liquid, you could use your liquid glue on the back of that, but what I'm going to use is my sticky specs. How many of you remember sticky specs? We had them, and then we were out of stock for a while. They had a couple of bad batches that didn't stick so well and really kind of made a bit of a mess, but we have them back, and it's one of those things that if you have it in your stash, you're going to want to pull it out. So I'm going to take my arrow. This yellow color sheet, and it's probably not going to show up very well on the camera, is covered in little teeny tiny, almost microscopic adhesive hexagons. And so I'm going to take my paper, come on, a little bit more. I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to give this a rub. So the right side is up, the wrong side is down. Peel this up again, grab my tweezers. And lift this up gently. Watch those corners. Now, you will get some on your fingers. All you have to do is kind of give it a rub and it will disappear from your fingers. And then, sorry, I'm going to bring this closer, otherwise I can't see. Putting it into place, and there we go. But sometimes you do get little remnants of the adhesive around the outside. And of course, on the back side, you're going to have areas that did not get covered by that pattern paper. So that's why my smile is a little bit sticky, and that's why this guy is a little bit sticky. But once we get it onto our page, it'll do its job. All right. So that is how you put together a cutout. It is super easy, and that way you can pick whatever colors you want. So I've got Smile here, which I'm now going to officially adhere down. Just get it all into place. And you know what, if you had wanted to pop it up, you could do that as well. Too late for me, but so here Smile is going to tuck right down here on the bottom of the page. Okay, my arrow, I'm not 100% sure yet where I'm going to put it, so I'm not going to put it down just yet. But Smile is in place, and it's bringing all those pops of color and tying everything together. So what have I done so far? I have used the sketches. I have used Graphic 45. I have used the cutouts, and I'm starting to create this really stunning tropical layout. What do I have to do next? Glitter.
Yeah, you had to cut those glitters.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. I have to do disco balls. Because, you know, that was the main thing. The main thing was disco balls. So with this collection, there are actually 3 different ways that you can do the disco balls. You can use, just making sure I don't lose any of my bits here. You can use the Better Press plates. You can use the dies, which are, see, too many things on my desk right here, or you can use the stencils, which I have all the way over here on my drying rack because I did some stuff. I did some pre-work. I did some homework. Now I got to remember where I put my pre-work. So how many of you are familiar with the Better Press system? How many of you love the Better Press system? The Better Press is a tool that works with your die cutting machine, and it's got these little plungers so that with the plates and with your paper and your die cutting machine, you impress the images right into your paper. And it's great for detail. It is great for unique images. And quite honestly, once you get it out and start playing with it, you don't want to put it away. So let me just make up some, as I call them, Death Stars, some disco balls. And because I know already that I'm going to use the stencils with these as well, I don't necessarily want to use black ink. I am going to pull a teal ink. I'm going to use the Better Press ink, but you can use a wide range of inks. But I don't think there's many things that we have tried that didn't work well. But all you need to do is then twist and apply the ink to your plates. These plates have a special coating on them that accept the ink and take the ink nicely so you don't have any beading or well, if you drag it, you could get streak marks, but if you do this twisting motion, you're going to get nice coverage on this surface. And then I'm going to take I've already attached my paper here. The paper is going to go face down. And
I don't know what's going on.
Still being tricky?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well,
it goes through phases where basically it doesn't show anything.
Okay, well, hopefully it all works out and maybe it's just on our end. Now we're going to run this through, and I like to go nice and slow. And I'm just going to slowly push this through with my crank, and this is allowing the ink to transfer onto that paper. It's making that impression on your paper. It gives you that wonderful tactile experience. Get this back out of the way. And there you go. Look how beautiful that is. So now I'm going to take this off, and we're going to take these blue disco balls and turn them into multicolored disco balls. Because a lot of the Better Press plates will come with a coordinating stencil. Pull out my little grip mat. And we're going to put it in place. So there is 3 stencils, large and the medium disco ball, and then there is a 4th stencil to do the small one. Now, if you are not someone who likes a Better Press, or you don't have a Better Press machine, you can use the stencil on its own. There is also a solid stencil to give you your foundation, so that way you can have your base, ink that first, and then apply the different layers of that disco ball so that you can still get all the different colors and layers.
Teresa's asking that instead of taping your cardstock, wouldn't it be better to put repositionable tape on the back to hold it in place?
Okay, so good question, Teresa. The question being, why did I tape it versus use repositionable tape? Absolutely, that is an option. However, I sometimes find if I use the repositional tape, it's going to leave that gummy residue. So I don't want to have to keep cleaning that top plate. Using the tape, I don't have nearly as much residue, and that Best Ever Craft tape that I use, the yellow tape that we've got, you can use it over and over again. So totally an option. You are absolutely welcome to. I also find the Best Ever Craft tape is just a little bit stronger, so the paper doesn't wiggle. Now, if you, let me see if I can find it. I can't find it at my fingertips, but there is also a product called Sticky Grid from Tim Holtz and from Sizzix. It is a double-sided low-tack tape. It's about, the ones that I was using are about this size because it fits in your sidekick. You can use that as well, and then that way it just goes over top. If I can find it later, I will post a picture and we can talk about it. But really, you do what's you. As long as it's stuck to the paper is stuck to that top plate, so that you nothing wiggles and it doesn't drop onto the ink where you don't want it. All right, so let's quickly stencil these guys. And all you have to do, now I do know, oh, you know what? My paper's upside down. All right, because sometimes it depends on how you put your plates in place, but I know, there we go. Once I've got this lined up here, then I know exactly where things are. So I am using Wild Honey, Twisted Citron, and Picked Raspberry, because those are all colors that will match with the paper that I've done on this layout. And nice and easy. This one's super easy with all those little squares. It's very easy to line up. I think I'm only going to do the big and the small just to demonstrate for you. I do have some already done, but let's go through. I'm a little bit crooked, a little bit off center. Matt says I'm always a little bit off center. That's not working there. I'm too low. That's why it didn't work. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find just the right positioning, but once you do, you can't unsee it. So it's very easy to come back. All right, so that's layer number 1. Layer number 2 is with my Twisted Citron. Now I know my Twisted Citron is very juicy, so I may not even need a lot of ink. There we go. And move it down. And you know what? It's okay if it goes off the edge because we're going to die cut these out. Or at least I did earlier.
Oh, magic of TV.
The magic of TV. Oops, and I slid, but that's okay. I was done. The magic of TV will have us die cutting in seconds. So that was Twisted Citron. And then Wild Honey. There we go, sticking in place. And this is one of those things that's really easy to assembly line. Press a bunch of disco balls, then do each layer of stencil, and nope, let's get that little button at the top there. Now, one thing you could have done, or I could have done, is this last layer instead of doing the Wild Honey. And I have, sorry for reaching across the camera there. You could also have used a paste. So this one I actually use stickles through the stencil so that you could, get that shimmer and shine. But for tonight, I thought I would stick with ink. All right, look how fabulous that looks. Disco balls can be any color.
And likes how it created the colors created dimension.
They do. They absolutely do. And it's just, it gives you, and it'll tie all of our colors together. So presto changeo through the magic of TV. Both the press plate and the dies also come with a set of circle dies so that you can cut them out. So through the magic of TV, there is my already colored and cut disco balls. And then I was talking about the dies. Well, I used this on the, I think it's called the glossy metallic. I don't even know if it's showing up. There we go. There we go. Look at how beautiful that is. Cool. So there's the 3 sizes on the foiled paper, or there's the 3 sizes in the stencil. So we've got options, folks. We've got options. All right. So let's put that grip mat away. Let's get our layout back out and see where we can add some disco balls. And this is where I might then start looking at, adding some more circles, adding, all right, so I want this disco ball to go here. Easy.
You knew that right away.
That one I knew right away. And maybe a smaller one over here. And I always like to do 3s. So maybe, and I'm going to make sure that button, the button go at the top or the button go at the back. The button goes at the top. So let's make sure the button is up for all of these. And even though I've cut these, I'm not sure. I'm almost feeling that trying to do these on top of these are a little bit of overkill, but that doesn't mean I can't use them on a card or use them on another layout. But I'm glad I showed you, and I'm glad I tried them out. It's really nice that it just presses that image right into that foil paper. Okay, so those guys are there. What other circles can we tuck in? Matt was saying we need some more green, and I totally agree. There is never a thing.
Well, because you have the green hem.
We've got green over here.
We'll have a green on the other side.
Let's do a little green there. Maybe a green here. Connect.
Yeah, I wouldn't do too much more.
No, you're right.
I'm always right.
Well, I'm not sure about that. How many of you think Matt is always right? And I guess the question is, do you want your packages shipped?
Aha.
Aha. So let's do some circles here. And we need another purple. We need another purple. So let's put a purple. Maybe it's purple instead of yellow.
There's at least a couple people on there that will definitely say
that I will definitely say
that I am not right.
All right.
I will not name names though.
All right. I think at this point I am not going to put any more circles on. I do need to glue these down because we still do have one more element to play with.
One of them's already figured out who would.
Has she now?
Yep.
All right. I kind of feel like I need to fill in this area over here. So maybe we do. I don't know. I'm not sure about this little area here. So let's leave it for now. We can come back to it. Oh, because there might be something else we can use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick the rest of these little circles down. Little ones, I like to use liquid because my tape runner I feel is unwieldy. All right, so there's a dot here. This green guy needs and tuck. That's the disco ball this guy needs. Tuck. And everything so far is flat. I've not popped anything up yet. I'm really letting the colors do the popping, if you will. And those ones are down. So I just have my disco balls. Those ones I am going to dimensionalize. If I can find. Are those big ones? Yep. All right. So let's put this disco ball down. Oh, you know what I didn't put on was the glitter ones. Let me add some glitter. That might help. So there's that disco ball there. Let's do the big one. button at the top. And I know I had this up here, but I'm going to come down, and there's a reason. And then the little guy. Oh, he's over here. I'm like, where did he go? There's too many circles. All right. Okay. Before I add the glitter, and I will definitely add some glitter. The last thing that I need to add to check all the boxes on all of my challenges is some birdies.
That's not a duck.
We don't have ducks, but we have Oscar here, who I am madly in love with, and I've just pulled similar colors to what I've got here. Pre-assembled them. I've got some that I haven't done the eyes yet. And then we also brought in the Pretty Birds. And if you remember from last week, Pretty Bird was a name that my father-in-law gave their budgie when we were in high school. So I've got 2 sets of birds here that I am going to incorporate into this layout. So first and foremost, I need to use my green and purple Oscar, and I'm going to put him right here standing on that big disco ball. I know I put this one under, but I think I'm going to put it over, because I then want to take one of these lovebirds, the Pretty Bird, maybe the green one because there's lots of yellow there. I'm going to put him here. I can put an Oscar right here on the M. He can be sitting kind of right in the nest there. And I'm going to put this guy here. And maybe, just maybe, this is where I can connect some glitter. And I now don't feel like I have enough purple. What do you think of that? I'm not sure. I feel like there's too many Oscars.
There is too many Oscars.
Okay, so we're going to take Oscar out.
What about putting one of the lovebirds in the M?
Down there. I think I liked. So I want to make sure that I've got them looking in their own. Maybe the yellow guy here, and this green guy can go here. There we go. But now I've lost an Oscar. Oh, Oscar can go there. There we go. All right, so that's where we're going to go. I'm going to tuck some extra glitter ones in here just to add some sparkle. And I need my arrow. My arrow.
I don't think the arrow fits. Not with everything else. No. No.
All right, Matt's saying no. I don't know if I agree. Oh, what? Hey, there we go. Now Oscar's got something to stand on. Okay, that's it. So let's glue. Glitter. And the purple. This guy I'm going to put on foam squares. And that's pointing us towards the word smile. Oscar's going to pop. Okay. Lovebird needs a foam square. Now, one thing that the Lovebird didn't get added is I've got all their little feet over here. I pre-cut them, but I'm going to add those on probably after the live is over, just so it looks like they've got feet there sitting where they need to sit.
Didn't even realize they were missing their feet.
Well, and you know what? Maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll see. The other thing that all of the Oscars and all of the Lovebirds are missing is they have cheeks. And I didn't realize it till just before we went live that I didn't cut those, so those will get added afterwards as well. But, you know, once it's on the layout, there's no problem whatsoever with adding those little details. And making all these little birds, making all the little critters, it's a very easy thing to do, to sit, you know, in front of the TV and, you know, die cut all the pieces, glue them all together.
I'm pretty sure you just giggled your way through making them.
Oh, 100% I did. They absolutely made me smile. And you know what? These are great for using up your scraps. You don't need very big pieces. Oscar's up here. It's everything. Everything is glued down. All right. Now there is something to be said for white space. But yes, there were a lot of things. I had a lot of challenges that I was trying to incorporate, but I'd like to think that I have. Oh, that's what else I have. Where did those go? Here we go.
Oh, Darlene just kind of threw a new one at you.
Okay, what's before
Oscar on a wobbler.
Oscar on a wobbler, absolutely. I had thoughts of, you know, maybe on a card. One of the things in the die cut set are the little twinkles that I can add some little twinkles in. Let's do.
Those would have been good for glitter.
Yeah, I've got them in glitter and in the metallic. So there's a twinkle, a little twinkle. Now, I'm sure tomorrow and maybe even next week, I'm going to come across more twinkles because I cannot tell you how many times I spilled this little tray and keep finding them elsewhere. So there's little twinkles here, and we need I'm going to put some over here, and we need one more spot. So maybe here in the middle. 1, 2, 3. And this is just where the fun comes in, where you just play, you see what fits, maybe put it in position first before you glue it, not like me. Just going for it. And then let's put some twinkles down here by this disco ball.
You know what Spellbinders needs to do now?
What does Spellbinders need to do now?
Make an Oscar facing the other way.
Well, I did think of that. I would love Oscars in both directions. Like the Lovebirds, where you've got the two so that they can be facing each other. But you know what? I also do think that that Oscar is a bit of a show off. And so he probably just wants to be by himself. Center of attention. I'm going to put one little twinkle over here by that. All right. What do you think, guys?
Shelley says she's been doing her best to resist buying Oscar until now.
Oh, yeah. Oscar's awesome. Okay, I feel like I need, oh, maybe there. So I could keep going and going. and going. But I think sometimes half the battle is knowing when to stop. I'm personally not a fan of this little empty space here.
Yeah, I like it considering everything else is so
busy.
busy.
Yeah. I wonder what if I add one more photo.
No. Stop.
We could add one more little photo in there, and that would make me happy.
That make you feel better?
My layout, I can decide. Because then that way that connects all the way across. We've got Oscar. Oh, you know what else I didn't do? I also had better press sentiments.
I think you're a little late for that now.
Sparkle like you mean it. There we go. That's the one. Dream big. Sparkle more. And smile and sparkle like you mean it. And then I'm calling it, guys.
I was gonna say, you try to do too many things. Wow.
But did I meet all the challenges? I think so.
Who gave you those challenges?
Me. Well, and you.
Well, no, mine was just a silly idea.
Yours was a silly idea. I think we decided we really wanted to show off what the disco balls could do, and this gave me an excuse to create with that graphic 45 paper that I am so in love with, and Oscar, and the lovebirds, or pretty birds, I guess as they're called. All right. Calling it.
Yeah. Wow.
Calling it.
That's full.
This, you know what? It might be a busy layout, but I really like how it has come together. And Matt's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm looking for one more piece.
Stop. Oh, stop. Done.
There we go. There we go. Done, done, done. And it's interesting. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and I was asking about something. It's like, well, can we use different brands with something that I'm working on? And they said, you know what? That's what crafters do. We dig into our stash. We go to the store. We pick up the things that speak to us and make us happy. Is that one stuck down? Nope, that one's not stuck down. So it's totally okay to pull things that, some people may say, oh, but those don't go together. Well, who says? There's no rules. There's only what makes you happy, only what makes you feel creative and inspired and make your photos look awesome. So I am so happy. This might not have been exactly what was in my head. I wouldn't say it's better or worse, but I really love how all of those colors, all of those papers, the disco ball, all of that stuff came together. So I challenge you. I challenge you to pull things out of your stash or potentially go shopping and find things that you're like, I don't think these are meant to go together, but man, they look fantastic together. And have lots of fun creating. Use those sketches. Make sure you post in the inner circle what you make, and just have fun. Have a great night, everyone.